Whole community lost a very special individual over Chol Hamoed Pesach, and today is his Shloshim. And as I'm sure many of you realize, I'm referring to Marvin Konick, Mr. Marvin Konick, Zichrono Livracha, Moshe Mendel ben Velvel Leib. I myself did not have the opportunity to attend his funeral because we were in Cleveland for the last days of Yom Tiv, and his funeral was the last day of Chol Hamoed Pesach, Erev Yom Tiv. And I'm sure many of you did not have the opportunity to attend his funeral. And with your indulgence, I just wanted to share some words of hesped for this very, very special person. Many of you surely have very fond memories of Mr. Konick. Some of you, my guess is, might not even know who Mr. Konick was. And I want to just, as a Tzibur, as a community, I want to just take a few minutes to reflect a little bit on who he was and his life. There's no way I can accurately capture him, but I just want to try for a few minutes. Forgive me, but Mr. Konick was such a warm and sharp-witted person. I have this image as I say these words of trying to capture him of Mr. Konick giving me that warm smile of his and letting out that loud laugh of his. Ha ha ha! You're gonna see if you can capture me, Rabbi. Give it your best shot. I'm just imagining him saying that. So Mr. Konick passed away on Pesach. And when you think of some of the greatest themes and messages of Pesach, I think a core idea is very much that we're so grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for taking us out of Mitzrayim. And because God takes us out of Mitzrayim, we see our lives as having a different purpose. This is actually a recurring theme throughout the Chumash. In numerous mitzvos, it says, I am Hashem who took you out of Egypt. And Rashi brings down various places in Chumash, the Medrash, that since I took you out of Egypt, you need to be doing this. You need to be doing this mitzvah. You need to be doing that mitzvah. And of course, a person could say that it's a deal. God took us out of Egypt, so we owe him. Maybe that's the pshat. But you could also say, I think, a deeper point, which is you took us out of Egypt. He took us out of Egypt because he had hopes and aspirations for us. And not just that we owe him the observance of mitzvos. He had a vision of what we would accomplish as a nation and each one of us as individuals. And that's why he took us out of Egypt. So it behooves us to rise to that occasion and to say to ourselves, Hashem, you had something in mind when you chose the Jewish people. It's incumbent upon me to live up to that. And I think that idea is very relevant when we think about Mr. Konick. I was very struck at the Shiva. Bill shared with me, and forgive me, I'm not going to try to recount the four events, but it was very meaningful that Mr. Konick evidently would regularly recount that there were four moments relatively early in his life that he felt that Hashem really saved him. I was very struck. I asked Bill what the spread was over these four moments, and it sounded like it was a stretch of about a year and a half. So, first of all, as many of you know, Mr. Konick fought in World War II. What an amazing thing to think about. At the Jewish War Veterans events, Mr. Konick, I believe it's the dining out, if I'm not saying the wrong term. Mr. Konick was a very honored guest at those events at different times over the years. So there were different moments that Mr. Konick felt he just dodged an assignment, you know, just by a hair, very, very dangerous assignments. And Mr. Konick fought in the Battle of the Bulge. And whether it be when he just missed an assignment that could have been very dangerous, whether it be he was in dangerous settings, there were four events that he felt that God saved his life. And he lived his life with that perspective. So we talk about, he passed away on Pesach. We talk about how the salvation of the Exodus is a perspective for us as a nation. I think it's meaningful that Mr. Konick lived his life with the perspective of God saved me. And now think about it. He was a person who was very devoted to community, very devoted to family, a person of unique interpersonal warmth, and a person of unique determination. What an interesting thing to think about. How much of those unique special midos that he demonstrated were really spurred on by this life perspective. He retired at a relatively young age. He made some calculation of benefits. He worked for the government, and he just figured out that at a relatively young age he could retire. And he basically devoted decades of his life, and it ended up being, I was struck by this also, essentially the second half of his life to serving community and being there for family. He was very involved in numerous ways in the shul, specifically the physical plant of the shul, specifically the Arcola building. Uh, Numerous important insights and work, particularly in the early years of the Arcola building. And he put a tremendous amount of energy into helping with the raising of his grandchildren and great-grandchildren, Kanai Nahara. And many of us, certainly myself included, have such fond memories. By the way, as many of you know, I grew up as a young man in the shul. When I was a teenager, I happened for a period to sit quite near him in shul Shabbos morning, and he would always greet me very, very warmly, just as a young man. I have fond memories of that. Many of us have fond memories that every now and then he would make a concerted effort to come to shul. Generally speaking, if there was a special birthday kiddush, his wonderful, wonderful son and officially daughter-in-law, but really like a daughter, Bill and Ruthie, demonstrated so much devotion to him for so many years, and various times when there were special birthdays for him, they would make a kiddush in shul, and it was an honor for us as a shul to join. Just to give you context, thank God, he graced us. I believe he was 102 when he passed away. If I'm off by a year, I apologize, but he lived well over 100. And obviously, as he got older, every birthday was a very special thing that the Konicks so often celebrated with us as a shul. But he wouldn't only come for that. Every now and then, he had that, they made a concerted effort. He made a concerted effort. He would come. And when he would be there, he was the absolute guest of honor. Uh, I have such fond memories of myself and many, many others walking over to greet him, maybe during Chazoras Hashatz, And I have a memory at least one time, probably more than one time, of his addressing the shul at the end of davening in honor of one of his kiddushim. So much warmth, so much happiness to be there. I have such fond memories of the way he would greet everyone when they would come over. Everyone, he had something else to say to them with so much warmth and excitement. And it really, he, he was a special part of the spirit of the shul. And many people have memories of him walking up and down the street as a regular exercise, and the way he would greet people then. That was so special. But I want to just share with you another side of him that I'm sure a number of you had experience with, but my guess is not all of you. And this to me is a very meaningful thing. And that is that there was a certain person in Mr. Konick's life that he felt people needed to put forth effort to be of assistance to this person. And when I would see him, by the way, just as an aside, he had the Eruv, the matzah for the Eruv. There's an Eruv within each of the University Towers buildings. He held the matzah for the Eruv in his building for many, many, many years. He was always on top of that I should come once a year to renew it with him and make sure he was doing it right. It was very important to him. But in any event, when I would see him, whether it be that I would come to do the Eruv, whether it be I would see him in shul, whether it be I would come to see him in the hospital or in the rehab or wherever it was, he would always, always ask me. And again, always such a warm, pleasant, respectful of everyone. He would ask respectfully, but forcefully, Rabbi, what are you doing for so and so? I have such a memory. There was a time he was in the hospital. He clearly had a certain amount of congestion and fluid. And to be honest with you, it was hard to understand him. It was hard for him to speak clearly. And yet he would like battle through it. What are you doing for so and so? Don't forget. Don't forget. I'm not going to let you forget. And to mix that warmth and caring with forcefulness and determination, it was the same determination that I think it's fair to say kept him alive to such an old age. And I think it's an attitude that God saved me and I'm here for a reason. I have to figure out what I'm going to do for the community, for the shul, and for the people in my life. I also just want to note how, many people when they retire, it's sort of like a time to step back. For Mr. Konick, it was not a time to step back. Clearly, it was just a time to shift focus. There's a lot to learn from that. There's a lot to learn from that, whatever your age is. There's a lot to learn from his sense of community. Also, just want to note, just to state the obvious, not only do we as a community have so much to learn from Mr. Konick, but we have so much to learn from Bill and Ruthie and their great, great devotion to him. Uh, it goes without saying that we as a community and his family was able to benefit from his presence. Who knows how many years we had him more thanks to Bill and Ruthie's efforts. And it's a tremendous chus and it's a tremendous lesson for all of us. A young man got saved from various points of danger, of potential danger. and he lived his life with a great sense of purpose. Did he think then that he would live for decades and decades more? Who knows? Did he imagine Kenai Nahara? We have the Konick name lives on with Yosef Tzvi and his beautiful family in Baltimore, Kenai Nahara. And of course, we also have Mrs. Yehuda Zarzuan here, the Arzuan family here in Silver Spring, Kenai Nahara, and various branches of the Arzuan family. And did he have any semblance of an idea of how far it would all go? Who knows? But the only way to accomplish it is to live every day to the fullest. And Mr. Konick was a wonderful, wonderful role model for all of us in terms of that, and so many very specific mitos. I do want to draw your attention, if you look at the email that's coming out from the show with this recording, it'll have the link. There is an opportunity to sign up for Mishnayos for Mr. Konick's first Yortzeit. You have a number of months to do it, to learn it, but I would urge you to sign up now. Those of us who are very close to Mr. Konick, those of us who never met him and would like to honor his memory, there'll be a link in the email. And as I said, today marks his Shloshim. May the inspiration from a beautiful person and his beautiful life be a schus for his neshama, and may he be a Melitz Yosher for his wonderful family and so many of us in the community that he felt so connected to. Besoros Tovos. Teinu Shmasot Tzru Rabbi Tzorachayim.